Tonight, Vice President Kamala Harris is on her way back to Washington after visiting Columbus. She came to the capital city to discuss President Biden's Build Back Better plan. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Yolanda Harris. Now, before she arrived, the president had temporarily transferred power to VP Harris as he underwent a procedure, and that made her make history as the first woman to assume presidential duties. President Biden is now back at the White House and back in power. Tonight, we have team coverage of the vice president's visit. My co-anchor Andrew Kinsey and Brittany Bailey are joining us live now from the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters local union, where the vice president spoke about the Build Back Better plan late this afternoon. We're going to start first with Andrew. And Andrew, you spoke with the vice president exclusively in a one-on-one interview after the event. What did she have to say?
Yeah, Yolanda, the vice president was here for relatively short, about an hour in and out of the facility here. She took a tour of the facility, talked to a crowd for about 10 minutes, and then made time afterwards to talk one-on-one with me. She was here to talk about challenges coming to our country because of the Biden administration's infrastructure bill. She also talked about the border crisis. She says she's been to the border and she has had conversation with world leaders about including the president of Mexico. She says it's not just a U.S. problem, but the U.S. needs to figure out why people are leaving other countries to come here. She also addressed something that continues to linger, the COVID pandemic. Here's what she had to say.
We are all ready to get beyond this pandemic, but we all have a role to play. And a big part of our individual responsibility is to do everything we can to be safe, to be healthy, and that includes getting vaccinated.
I'll have much more of my exclusive with the vice president coming up tonight at 11. More on the COVID pandemic, the border crisis, and what it will take to build infrastructure and build America back up, and the administration's goals ahead. We'll continue our team coverage tonight with Brittany Bailey. She is live, standing by with an update. Brittany, the vice president spoke before a crowd of about 75. What was her message today?
Well, Andrew, she definitely had two reasons to be speaking today. One, she wanted to tout the passage and the signing of the U.S. bipartisan infrastructure bill earlier this week. She also wanted to praise the U.S. House for just this morning passing the Build Back Better plan. And she actually had plenty of praise to go around today. When she was talking to the crowd, she praised not only her Democratic colleagues, Congresswoman Joyce Beatty and Senator Sherrod Brown, but she also gave a special shout out to Republican Senator Rob Portman for his help on the infrastructure bill. And she told the crowd today that it will help to rebuild our roads, modernize our ports, and replace our lead pipes. And she made a point to say that the local plumbers and pipe fitters union here will be a key part of that.
In America, we have the courage to see beyond the crisis, to believe that the future and a future we imagine is possible, and then to build it. So, as we move forward from here, let us continue to believe in our people, believe in our country, and believe in what we can do when we work for it.
Now, also in the crowd today was a family we first introduced you to back in January on Inauguration Day. Rick Neal and Tom Grody brought their two little girls to meet a woman who inspires them. Amarette is 12 years old, Sophia is 9, and now the two came prepared with questions for the vice president and with plenty of excitement.
I'm gonna probably tell my friends I just met the vice president. Wow.
I asked her how it felt to be vice president. She also said a lot. She gave us a really good detail about what it's like and all the responsibilities.
Being the first woman vice president, the vice president of color, for my girls and all kids to be able to see someone like her step into that role, assume that responsibility, and yet with her still be approachable and warm and open-hearted and a genuine person, but with that weight of responsibility on that. I think that's an amazing lesson for them.
Now, the girls did get a picture with Vice President Kamala Harris today, but they don't expect to receive those pictures for a few weeks. You heard what Amarette's question was to her today. What does it feel like to be Vice President? Well, Sophia asked, what can you do about all of the plastic in our oceans? And we're told that the Vice President gave very detailed policy answers to both of those questions. Reporting live in Columbus tonight, Yolanda will send things back to you.
All right, Brittany, thanks. They were very good questions. Good job from the girls there. Well, we are hearing from Republicans about the vice president's visit today. An Ohio representative from the Republican National Committee shares his thoughts on the visit as well as the infrastructure bill. 10 TV's Olivia Eugenio joins me now with what he had to say. Olivia?
Yeah, Yolanda, we spoke with the Ohio Communications Director of the Republican National Committee, Dan Lushik. He had a lot to say about the vice president doing this tour in the first place. He says this is just a PR stunt and is almost a slap in the face to workers who he says will feel the effects of spending. He also says the tour is not addressing the true issues Americans care about. One of those issues, he says, is the border.
If the Biden administration wants to get the border under control, they need to really reevaluate what that strategy is going to be. And Kamala Harris has proven that she is not the person who wants to do it, and she's not the person who can do it.
Now, he also discussed the infrastructure bill, saying infrastructure is a bipartisan issue. The problem comes with the cost. He says Republicans think it's too much and there isn't enough spending and there isn't enough about the transparency about the spending. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Olivia. Now we're going to have Andrew's full interview with the vice president. That's coming up later tonight. So tune in at 11 o'clock here on 10 TV to hear that conversation.